Hi, folks. Okay, it says I'm live, but I'm not. So, I'm recording this earlier in the day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you used your Valentines that you've made in the last couple of weeks. I know I did. Got them all out there. so, I hope you had a good day. Today also happens to be Ash Wednesday, and my husband and I both have to serve at the church tonight. So I couldn't do this live, but I figured I'd record it like I did last week, and it will play at 7:30, and it'll be just like on live. The only thing is, I can't respond to your comments. But if you send me a comment, let me know that you were there watching, and I will respond to you over Facebook because it does show up. So, let's see. A couple of things. Tomorrow I'll be at the United Church of Christ in Robizonia from 1 till 3. That's real easy to find. It's right on the corner, 301 West Penn Avenue in Robizonia. So as soon as you enter into Robizonia, just keep an eye on the right hand side. It's the only church there. And kind of go around the corner and down the parking lots in the back, and there's a nice hall there with plenty of room. So anybody's welcome. You don't have to be a member of the church. Anybody can come. Feel free to drop in and say hi and bank a card. And then not next week, the week after, the 28th of February, I will be at the Robizonia Library at 1:30. So you can join me there too. You don't have to be a member of the library, but stop in and make a card. It'll be fun to have you. So tonight, I'm going to do a couple of cards using the Everyday Details bundle. Let's see, what else do we have going on? We still have Celebration in full force. Celebration, you have a catalog with a couple of items, quite a few items actually, free for a $50 purchase. And there's a couple of items that are free with a $100 purchase. If you don't have that catalog, let me know and I will direct you to find it online. There's also a couple of new items added as of the 1st of February that are free. You have to look online to see those. There's nothing in a catalog or anything for those. So let's see. That's all I have to tell you now. Let's get into making this card. I'm going to cut myself out of here. I'm having a bad hair day again. Thank God I go to the hairdresser tomorrow and get that taken care of. So, so here we are. Okay, let me show you quick. This is the card we're going to make. Isn't that pretty? I really, really love this stamp set. Um, Let me see. Here it is, the Everyday Details. That's the stamp set, and these are the dies. And the dies are kind of cool, sort of, and wasn't sure if I liked them or not. Like this really big rectangular one here, you can get a frame. It cuts two things at the same time, an inside piece and a frame. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to use that inside piece sometime, but not tonight. Just showing you. Tonight, I'm using this border piece here. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this border piece because this is a really cool piece. I had to use some math skills to make the cards tonight just because. Okay, I want to show you something else too. This border piece works so much better when you clean it out in between running it through your die cutter. Can you see all these little dots here? Okay, so that fills up the holes, and when the holes get filled up, you end up running it through your embossing machine like 15 times to get it to go through. If you clean it and there's nothing in the holes, you only have to run it through once. The other thing that I found out, okay, here's what I did. I'm making two cards today. I'm using this this stamp and this stamp. So I needed a piece 2 1/4 for this die to fit. This die will not fit in a piece that's 2 1/4. I need 2 1/2. So I used my math skills and I added 2 1/4 and 2 1/2 and came up with 4 3/4. My whole card piece that I want this way is 5 1/4. So I cut a piece 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. And the reason I did that is just because this is one long die and it was just easier. But one of the things that I learned is when you're putting it on your plate, you're setting it up to cut, put it this way so that you're cutting on the edge rather than this way. Your instinct is going to be to do this. And that was what I did in the beginning. And I did have to run it through a couple of times. And then I said, wait, let me try turning this around. Turn it around this way. And first time it cut great. Make sure your ends are kind of even, same place, top and bottom, because this is what I want to be kind of like a frame. So I cut it top and bottom, side and side. That's just a little quick tip just to show you that it works, but it takes a little bit of effort sometimes. Okay, so we have this piece. Now, like I said, I cut this for 2 different cards. One's 2 1/4. So I want to cut this at 2 1/4 first. And I will have 2 1/2 left, which I do. I'm going to put the 2 1/2 aside because we're going to do the 2 1/4 first. I took the Flight and Airy paper, Designer Series paper. This was one of the freebies with Celebration. This is actually has birds on the back of it. Okay, so I only use this. I know you can kind of see them. They're cute. I wanted this side. So we are going to put them, we're going to glue them on here, the 3 of them. I don't want to leave a lot of space in between because I want to have room at the end for this. But we're not gluing this on yet because we're going to do stuff with it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with this end just so I know how far I can go. Put a little bit of glue on here. Move the card up a little. And put that piece right on here. Make sure you have it straight. It kind of looks straight to me. Yep. Okay, now I can get that out of the way to do what I'm going to do with it. Then I'm going to put the end piece on. And then I'll put the middle piece in the middle, just leaving a little bit of space in between so that our blue of our base shows up. Now, you know, I usually, a lot of times I like to put something, you know, like maybe start with one color base and then put another color in the back, but I like this just the way it is. And then when you color this one, you put on what you want on it and you glue it to your front. The blue is going to show through those holes and just kind of give you the illusion of a blue card. I mean, it is a blue card, but you know what I mean. I just think that's a pretty effect that you end up with there. So let's see, that's that. Now I'm going to stamp my flowers on here in Memento Black. I can close up my glue because I don't need that yet. I'm double checking to make sure that I have black everywhere because sometimes with the Memento, I'm sure that you have experienced that it doesn't always hit everything the way it's supposed to. So I want to just kind of center this. Got it. perfect. And then we're going to color it. And I really hate to make you sit here while I color these things, but I really wanted you to see what I was doing with it exactly. So you're going to have to watch. I'm sorry. What I used, I have blue boho, light and dark. I have light mango melody. I have dark daffodil delight. And I have light poppy parade. And I have light and dark old olive. Those are my colors that I'm using. I'm going to start with a vase. And I'm going to do the whole thing in light boho blue. Now, I want to end up with a little spot in the middle to kind of look like there's a reflection of a light going through, and I want that kind of concave, but I don't want much of it, just a little tiny bit. And this is the light. You can see that you're going to see as I go. I'm actually going to end up coloring in the whole thing. I'm going to come back through with the dark. Now the dark I want to put in this ring first of all. Then I want to put down here at the bottom. Then I'm going to put just around the edges. Oops, and I went outside the line. A little more than I wanted to. Now I just got that around the edges. I'm going to take my color lifter and go over that spot right there quick. And I'm going to come back through with my light. And this time I am going to not do anything in that centerpiece. But I'm going to kind of blend everything else. Okay. Now I'm going to have to touch that spot up after that dries. So I'm going to let it go for a minute or two, let it dry. And now I'm going to come in and do my flowers. Now I'm going to start with the leaves. I'm going to do them pretty much the same way. I'm going to start with a light green. And I'm going to color the whole leaf in the light green. I'm not using a ton of different colors here, so because I'm trying to keep this relatively simple. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I'm just going to, this is an old one I'm going to need to replace. I always find that the paintbrush end runs out before the pointed end, so I can usually get a little bit more mileage out of it by switching over to the marker end. But this one's going to have to get tossed because it is really, really getting dry. Okay, so I've colored all of the leaves in the light color. And then I'm going to just come back through with the dark and just maybe go a little bit along the edges and the veins a little bit, just a little shading here and there. I don't want to put a whole lot on. of the dark because I don't want to take over the light. I just want to shade it. Okay. I'm holding my breath. That's why I'm not talking. I hold my breath. Oh, I hope my head isn't in here. No, okay. And I am creating shadows, aren't I? Okay, that's pretty much it for the leaves. With any of these, you start out with the lighter color. You don't I mean, you don't have to do it this way. I'm just telling you, this is how I do it because to me this works the best. I start with the lighter color. I come in with the darker just here and there to shade things, but then I blend it all with the light color again using the light color. And the light color takes away the lines that you put in with the dark and just kind of pulls it all together so that it's shaded that way. Okay, let's see. All right, now I'm going to take my yellows, the dark, the light mango melody, and dark daffodil delight. Why did I pick these shades? I don't know, but I like them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking the mango melody first and putting some light streaks in the center of this big one. And the little ones I'm going to do completely with the yellow and then do the insides with the poppy. The same with these really tiny little ones. Just randomly do these however you want because they're going to look cute no matter what you do. Okay, take your poppy next. Now you're going to see, I'm going to I'm not going to color all the way down into the yellow, but I'm going to bring the other yellow in then and blend them together so that it looks like I colored all the way down. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So these, I'm just going to go in where the black is and take it into the black, which of course then you can't see it, but bring a little bit of it out into the yellow. And then these guys, same thing, right in the, and I'm even going to make a couple of these wall people poppy. Now I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight and I'm going to blend in the poppy so that it looks like I didn't color it separate like you saw that I did. And then the same with these. I'm going to leave some of the light on the outside edge, but I'm going to just kind of put a little, because this is darker. So I'm just putting a little bit of it here and there. Okay, that's it. Isn't that pretty? I really do like this. Let me bring it up a little closer just so you can see what I did. Now, other than this little mess up here, which I will be able to touch that up, I hope. In fact, I have a white Whisper White pencil colored pencil, which I would put over top of that. It's still wet though. I don't want to do anything with it while it's wet. But I do want to put more. I do want to put my line in here to make sure you can. It's a separate line. There. That's that. I just flung the cat to this marker across the room there for no reason. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close these all up. Put them aside, pull my card back out, and I'm going to just glue this down. And yep, I'm using glue. You'll see why in a second. Now, when you're gluing this, you of course have to watch your holes because it will drip through your holes. But if you don't get some glue up here, it's going to curl on you and lift. So make sure just little drops of glue. Little drops. So this card layout was one that Jackie Ballhace did. You know, I use a lot of her ideas. She did the card layout as far as the 3 strips and then one big strip. She did a couple like this where she stamped something on the other side. She did some where she embossed the other side, and she did some with just a different designer series paper. They all look neat, but I really wanted to use these stamps because I just really, really like these stamps. Now, I tell people a lot of times that I have messed up so many things and learned how to fix them. So I am going to figure out how to fix this. But first, I also do not like leaving a vase just sitting out like this in the middle of everything. So I'm going to take my balmy blue and I'm just very lightly going to put some color here so that it's not just hanging out here. Now I took the balmy blue pencil and I'm going to take a blender pen, although this isn't going to make a whole lot of difference, but I'm going to do it anyway. And just kind of smear this around a little bit just so it looks like it's not floating in air. And you know, you can almost kind of take that down here to hide that little mess up here that I made. See, it looks like, yep, I did that on purpose, folks. Problem fixed. Hey, Barb. You found me. Wow, I thought this was supposed to be, oh dear, it has me live. It's supposed to be scheduled for 7:30. I guess I am live now, so I hope you guys can all catch me at 7:30. Sorry about that. Well, I did have it scheduled though. I'll reschedule it. I'll do something. Barb, I'm so glad you came to my attention so I could see that. And you're on a Zoom call, multitasking. Okay, so this is what I ended up with. Okay, now one more little thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to take the center of this die, okay, this centerpiece, which I should have done this before I got online, but I didn't. I'm going to cut this out to put a greeting on here. I will be right back. Let me find the other plate. I used the plate to show you something, and then I put it, here it is. Okay. Now, I will be right back. Okay. And I'm just going to take my little happy birthday from my go-to greetings, the one that fits the best, which is probably going to be this real little one here. Yep. And I'm going to use boho blue on that. So Barb's watching a Zoom call and she has me on mute, so she can't hear me saying that she's not supposed, that I'm supposed to be live, not supposed to be live, but that's okay. I'm glad she could comment. I just hope this works where everybody gets to see it at 7:30. I'll do something. I'll fix something. I'll make it happen somehow. Okay, so this part gets put on. Oh, yeah, with dimensionals. Right there. And there's our card. I don't have an inside in it yet, so I'm going to put one in. And that's not it. That's a piece that was left over. So the inside is going to say, hope your day is a happy one. I hope. And there's a little in the detail, the everyday details. There's one little stamp here that has just little dots on it, and I'm going to use that just to kind of randomly here and there. And that'll go on the inside. Okay, card number one. Card number two is going to be pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is I'm going to use the little nest with the eggs. I'm going to stamp my greeting right at the top. And so what this is going to say, perfect. I'm going to use the boho blue because that's going to be the background card. Overjoyed for you in this new journey. Everything about this card is going to be the same as the one I just did, except the coloring. And I'm going to show you a couple of things with the coloring. I'm going to start out with my dark old olive because I want to color just want to color these leaves, which I think they're in a nest, so they're kind of meant to be dried up older leaves. So I'm using my dark old olive to color them. And then I'm going to take crumb cake. Oh, geez. I'm just about. My crumb cake is. Both of them are dark, and I don't want dark, so I'm trying to find something else I can use. Maybe pecan pie. Yeah. So I'm going to use light pecan pie. I'm going to use the brush end of this. And I'm going to color the whole entire nest with the dark pecan pie. And then I'm going to take the dark pecan pie and come through and just highlight at the bottom and in the inside. Now I'm bringing this out into some of these branches, but not all of them, just to continue the colors a little bit. And I'm going to do the same with my old olive. I'm going to just kind of color in a few of these places. And I'm going to take a little bit of the old olive and put it in the nest. Just a little here and there. Okay, that's pretty much all I'm doing with this. I'm going to take Pool Party, Light Pool Party for the eggs, because I always think of bird eggs as being blue. And then I'm going to take the dark Pool Party and just color in the shadows. Now, if you want, you're looking for real authenticity, which I really kind of like the idea of doing this, I'm going to take my pecan pie marker. No, this is espresso. Watch this. I'm just flicking a little bit onto the eggs. And look what that did. So you can see the little spots. It just added little spots to the eggs the way they should be. Now, I'm doing everything else on this exactly the same way I did the other one, with one exception. This needs to, this white part is a little bit wider than the other one was. So I want to make sure that my strips of paper are going to fit. And somewhere along the way, I lost one of them. I did have 3 cut, and I had 3 here with the card. And now I only have 2. And I definitely like it with 3. So I'm going to hunt that last one down or cut a new one. Looks like I'm cutting a new one. That's okay because I have the paper right here. It's a 1/2 inch. By 5 1/4. And for the inside, I'd like a 4-inch piece to put at the bottom of this anyway. So we're good to go. Now I got my 3 pieces. And this is all done, so I can glue that right down first because I know that where it's right where I want it to be. Again, make sure you get some dots of glue in where these holes are so that this doesn't curl. And then put the rest of your glue down. And put it right on your end. Put this brown real close. Put this one close to the edge, or you can just go ahead and put it right there. Can't leave too much space here though because you don't have a lot of room left over. Don't forget that. Just almost right up against, but not quite. See, I think that this nest to me symbolizes something like a new home or a new baby, perhaps the news of an engagement or the announcement of a baby or something. So that's why I picked Overjoyed for You in this new journey. And the inside, I'm thinking that a congratulations is the perfect thing to put inside of this. And put a little brown at the bottom. And for right now, I am just going to glue this in. Just like that. And that's that. So thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope this worked out the way it was supposed to as far as the recording goes, and that I'll be able to play this again at 7:30. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful evening.